Alright, hello again. This is, part 2. This time I'll actually start with the deck list. And then I'll see if I can keep this continuous by going to a match and not getting my ass kicked. But anyway, because, again, I mentioned this in the first video, and when I was talking to the user that I'm posting this for, because, you know, I have a large audience now. This video might hit double digits in viewers. Yeah, it's not the most competitive deck, most likely. Maybe it could be, because it's not, I don't consider it a jank deck. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It plays kind of like Control. I just take it slow. I don't worry about damage. And, I mean, it has a win condition. It's not some, you know, it's not a Control deck that hopes that you quit. It's, yeah. Anyway, let's just go over the cards. Stitcher Supplier, just basic. It's, they're mandatory. They're absolutely mandatory because the win condition is a Zoni with a buttload of creatures in the graveyard. I mean, you gotta have at least... It depends on what you're going against, but honestly, if you don't have at least 5 or 6, you're not gonna do it. And even then, your opponent can overcome 5 or 6 1/1s. 12 of them, though, unless they have a mass removal spell, that's a lot harder. And then even if they do have that, if you've got your journey flipped, then you can just do it again next turn. Let me see. I've got 3 of them in this just to make it easier to find because she is the win condition, obviously. I've tried running with only 2. That's possible. But, you know, it's luck, I guess. Because you only need 2. And honestly, it's not bad to have 2 in your graveyard at the same time. Because if you don't have Vraska out, you can't use her +2 to sacrifice her. And if you need to get more tokens out on the field, and you already have a Zoni on the field, and you have 1 in your graveyard, you can use your Journey to just bring out a new one, and it'll bring all the tokens with it. And then you don't even have to necessarily keep the new one. You can keep the old one that has doesn't have Summoning Sickness. So, anyway, 4 Stitcher Suppliers, mandatory. Also a great candidate for Journey to Eternity. And they're great. Try to get a couple of them out before your Golgari Finebrokers because, you know, Golgari Finebroker, they act as a tutor in this. And, yeah, they can get your Journey out. Because when your Journey or your Vraska go into the graveyard, it seems, oh no, that's bad, I needed those. It's actually good, because you can just get a Golgari Finebroker and take them out. And if you're playing really slow and you don't have any oppressing threats, and maybe you don't have those things in your graveyard, or you know that they're playing a deck that will get rid of your Journey, because that happens sometimes, you can just use Golgari Finebrokers to find other Finebrokers and just kind of keep it going. Well, to an extent. And yeah, so anyway, Necrotic Wound, they're a dead card if you don't have a couple of things in your graveyard. But, you know, obviously it's a 1-mana removal spell when you do have things in your graveyard. Even 1 Stitcher Supplier usually does the job. Because it doesn't just destroy, it does the -/-. It can kill things that are, you know, and because it exiles, it can do things that are immune to death. You know, I believe that's indestructible creatures it works on, and Rekindling Phoenix and the like. Things that you don't want to go into their graveyard. Haha. Alright, Seeker Squire. It explores, so it used to be Glowspore Shaman here, but while this doesn't get as many cards in your discard pile, her purpose was for getting a land, and this pushes it right into your hand. Or you get a 2/3. Now there's also a the 2/1 Merfolk that does this as well, but I realized after putting it in that I'd rather have the 1/2 that can go to a 2/3 to help against red deck wins and the like. Because again, we're not going for, this isn't an aggro deck. It's not even a mid-range aggro deck. It's a combo deck. All right, 3 Assassin's Trophies. You can run 2, you could run 4, you could run none. 3 is just what I fit in here because there's just so much stuff that you want in here. Plague Crafter. Plague Crafter's great because you can use him to get rid of whoever you put the Journey to Eternity on. You can use him with Golgari Finebroker to get rid of Planeswalkers, or if your opponent only has one creature out, maybe it's something that's hexproof or immune to standard removal. Plague Crafter, that's great. They have to sacrifice. But again, if you've got a board of 3 creatures against you and there's a 1/1, well, Plague Crafter's not that great. So anyway, you can run. I run one of him. Maybe you need more. I don't know, I've got more on the sideboard. Jadelight Ranger. This was it used to be just one of Brontodon or Thonodon or whatever, the 3/4 that can destroy enchantments and artifacts. I went with this. Again, it's the same purpose as Seeker Squire, but Jadefire Ranger, it's a little beefier. It does it twice, so you can get 2 lands in your hand, which, more important, if you have 3 mana in this deck, and then you also get 2 more, you didn't need... honestly, 4 is kind of the magic number in this deck. I mean, initially. Once you get 4, you'll draw another 1 or 2, and that's all you need. Once you get to 6 mana, more is better. Trust me, more is better with this deck. With the Zoni's ability, you can, obviously you can... I'm pointing to my monitor. Anyway, you can, use your mana to sack 1/1s that you've got an abundance of and get more cards and even life. Let's see. So... Anyway, Jadelight, yeah, it's it just gets a land or 2 in your hand. Anyway, what I was going on about is, more importantly, you can get those lands out of your way, because there are certain things that you need to find with this deck. It's a combo deck. And often, on turn 3, what you'll be dying for and desperate for against red deck wins and tokens is Ritual of Soot. This isn't in a lot of deck lists that I've seen online. I consider it mandatory because... a Green-White's token decks won last week at some tournament, and so everybody's running green-white tokens, and every idiot that heard of Magic last week is running red deck wins because it's easy and, I believe, relatively cheap to build. So yeah, Ritual of Soot, absolute necessity. I only crafted 3. I need to craft another one. I put some money into the game, but I've been exploring too many decks, so I run low on wild cards. Golgari Finebroker, went over that. Honestly, I maybe should have 4. Some lists only run 2. He's great. A little expensive, but he's a decent body for a 3/4. Honestly, he's just always what I want on the field when I've got other creatures coming at me, and he's a nice blocker. And sometimes he's enough of a threat that the opponent will waste a removal on or something. Honestly, I'd rather... I'll trade creatures all day. I don't need mine on the field. Ravenous Chupacabra, I mean, it's a body and it's removal. I mean, obviously. And also, obviously, you can get them back out of the graveyard. You could Journey to Eternity and have them do another one and also flip your Journey. Hell, if you've already got your Journey flipped and you've got another 1 or 2 in hand, put it on Golgari Finebroker, put it on Ravenous Chupacabra. Obviously, you could do it on Stitcher, but not that great. Obviously, the Explorer could do it again, but again, it's not the greatest thing unless you're lucky enough that it gets 2 lands that you don't have to pull through and have dead turns. Plague Crafter. Again, you guys are smart enough, you can figure it out, maybe, hopefully. Here's Raska. Yeah. So she's a sorcerer, sorcery speed removal, and she can get rid of whoever you've put Journey on. She can get more cards and life after your Zonies come out. Or hell, just do it to a Stitcher that doesn't have anything on it. She's great. She's not the most important part of this deck, but she works very well with it. I mean, honestly, I've almost thought about taking her out or even running only 2 or something like that. But sometimes, depending on, honestly, I might sideboard one or two, because depending on what deck you're playing against, her main mission is to sacrifice whoever you've put Journey to Eternity on. Anyway, all right. So Eldest Reborn, yeah, great card. I'm just running one copy of it because it's expensive. And I think it'll work. It's a little redundant, but sometimes, I mean, yeah, it's just another way of doing the deck's main goal. And it does it all in one card, so it's not going to be your win condition, depending on what you're going against, but it'll help you out a lot. Maybe more of a stall than a win tactic. Doom Whisper, only running one. The Surveil can help, although usually... Honestly, if my life is high, then I'm usually not too worried about it. I'd rather keep some life. Anyway, I mean, hey, it's a 6/6 flyer with trample. He can be the win condition on his own. If you've got no other pieces of your puzzle, and you've got him in the graveyard and go Feinbroker, get him. That can be a win. Azoni can wreck things just coming down by yourself if you've had your Stitchers, but you haven't had anything else going on, or even if you're just in late game. So yeah, and then the lands. God, please don't pay attention to the lands. Again, I've been experimenting with a lot of decks. I don't put that. I've put too much money into the game, but nothing, not YouTube money, not Twitch streamer money. Okay, so I've got the tombs. I only have one cemetery. I'll get more when Dominaria draft comes out. I rare draft. I like drafting. So. And then the sideboard. Does this... Okay, so that just stays like that, I guess. Yeah, nothing special here. This is the weakest part of my build, so trust me, if you've got your own ideas, do that. More Necrotic Wounds in case you are running against maybe Rekindling Phoenix is a huge problem. Indestructible creatures, who knows. Things that you don't want going in their graveyard, etc. You guys are smart, you know. Find and Finality. Finality is really great, although it's usually, if you need it, it's 6 mana, and you haven't got it. I mean, it can be a more expensive Ritual of Soot. But the Find can be nice, but usually you either want things in your graveyard or Feinbroker was going to get them. The reason I don't care about Find when I've got Feinbroker is that obviously Find can't get me Journey back out, and Golgari Feinbroker can. That's a huge thing. I mean, honestly, your mission is to flip Journey to Eternity. Saying that, maybe you even want to run 4, but again, they're redundant, and hopefully you have Stitcher's Player going through, you know, a quarter of your deck by turn 4. So I don't know if yeah, that's not an overstatement. Blood Operative, it's just kind of random. It's got lifelink. You can come back when you surveil. With Doom Whisperer. Honestly, with only running one Doom Whisperer, he's probably trash, but anyway, he's there. 3 Plague Crafter, just, again, kind of what I said about Necrotic Wound. If they're running, you know, maybe it's a blue-white that just runs, you know, Planeswalkers and no creatures. Plague Crafter's great. Other things that are hard to remove. Another Ravenous, just, I don't know, if you're going against an aggro deck. 3 Vasquez Contempts. This against the control deck, sometimes that's just the win. You put him out, you win. Bam. And then Detection Tower, just in case. Again, guys, don't just do whatever you want on the sideboard. Anyway, so let's go try one out. Yeah, the last video, the first one, was cut out when my dog went nuts, and I had a terrible start against Red Deck Wings anyway, so you guys didn't need to see me be that pathetic. Well, that's awesome. Be nice. Nope. Well, maybe this lost because I didn't spend enough on it. Or land, rather. But. Okay. Yes. Maybe we'll get it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're going to... Oh no, he can't play Buff here. Okay, here's what we do. Secret Squire, and then he either becomes... No, he's not going to be big enough to jump anyway. Hopefully that gets us a land. Sorry. But anyway, I forgot. Steely Champion. It can be Ritual of Six. This hurts us a little bit, but it's a green deck. They don't have anything crazy that's going to be able to sneak in damage. So this actually may be really easy. We'll get another Chump. Obviously, and then we're still not going to Assassin Trophy because hopefully they play another thing or two. We'll sit. And, well, this is the part where Gigantosaurus. Or, no, not Gigantosaurus. Oh, thank you. Whatever that 12-12 is. Oh my gosh. This is... So, I mean, we have nothing that we need. I mean, we just destroyed their start. Yes.
Won't see the end coming until it's too late. Pain is weakness.
Yes. Now we just need a creature. I don't think green wins anything.
Don't dwell on what's about to happen.
Alright, so we're gonna win slowly. So yeah, you guys, if you remember me ranting and going on slowly about how important Ritual of Soot was, well, there you go. But yeah, I do often forget that the Steel Leaf Champion's only 3 mana. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, Ritual of Soot works on him too. It's awesome. Alright, so we got Journey, Eldest Reborn, we lost that. It is a permanent we could get back with Golgari Finebroker, but yeah, not that big a deal. If we do get Finebroker, that's probably what we'll take. Or even just 2 more mana, you know, we can get a Zoni out, and then, you know, we're not really worried about much. Is this guy a sore loser? He might be a sore loser. Because green decks don't have that much to think about. And we're not really a control deck. Yeah, this guy's pissed off that he got ritualed. Yeah. Oh, and he probably can't do anything about Vraska's ultimate. That's one thing I didn't really touch on. Obviously not that complicated, but it's relative. If you've got a Zoni out, then people aren't going to be able to touch your Vraska most likely. And but maybe you've got a situation where she only, you know, you've got 5 things in your graveyard. She's got like 5 or 6 tokens. You're not going to be able to win, or at least not too quickly, but maybe you've got 1 or 2 more creatures than your opponent. Obviously, there you go. Vraska's ultimate. And honestly, I get it off pretty often. Not that often, because most people just quit when you do, so. But yeah, I mean, it wins me a decent amount of games. Nowhere near most of them, but again, Vraska's it's just good synergy. She's not the powerhouse. Wow, what a little bitch. That was a mistake. Oh, man, no, I'm not going to do that.
Its loss will serve us.
We're actually not going to. We'll just do
I wanted that taken out too.
because ultimating without a creature just doesn't help us. And we've got 2 rituals. We got an assassin's trophy, but again, her ultimate. Once her ultimate helps us, we've already won.
They vanish all the time.
Boy, it is. This is really funny because, I mean, honestly, it's really sad. Throw away. Oh, fuck. Okay, we need another man. Thank you. Alright.
Sacrifices must be from time to time.
How do we handle this? Jesus Christ. Come on. Did we lose? Holy crap, we lost. Okay. So that was some terrible draws with a lucky ritual set. Because all we needed was just one monster or a land just a turn sooner. Anyway, I'll keep that in because that was just outrageous. So let's see if we can get it to work. Yeah, this is not great. We're on the draw, so I never get to go first. So. Oh well, win. Yeah. I kind of I've experimented with Llanowar Elves, but this deck is really just jam-packed with stuff. If you want to run the Llanowar Elves, maybe they're great. But I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't feel the need for it. Alright, so I start this slow. This is fine. I don't know what they're playing. They're either off to if they're not off to a terrible start, then maybe I shouldn't have kept that ritual, but let's see. You know what? Actually, we've Rasta here because she only does 3 mana.
Your demise won't be quick.
Plus.
What can I say? Death is
So,
cheap.
we'll save our Ravenous. I think we're in good position here. Probably should have gotten rid of the ritual set. I should have known better.
Just a flesh wound.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's just let him think we're a total noob that doesn't have any. Well, my land is pretty bad. Anyway.
should leave before I make you disappear.
I could sack a land and draw. I won't.
Sometimes
Because we'll use the
sacrifice
zoning.
is necessary.
And it looks like she's only going to come with one creature, but we can also sack it. Or not. Pass. I don't. It was just mono black. I don't know whether to say we've gotten lucky or not. What the hell? Alright, so there's blue? I don't know what this deck is. But I'm not going to waste a Ravenous, and I'm... Without Brass, should not have taken the ritual. Okay, good that we got rid of that stuff. Okay, here's what we do. We play a Zoni, and then we can Journey to Eternity and use her ability to sack that creature. And then, while we're still not really clear with almost nothing in our group... Oh, Jesus, 9 cards. Come on. We need some creatures. You guys saw the deck list. There's creatures in this deck. Oh, bitch. No, actually, we're still... I don't trust them not to have a way to deal with our Journey to Eternity. And we could have put it on one of the insects and then ritualed, and then it would have only gotten rid of our creatures, but it doesn't seem necessary. And we'll explore. Twice. We get to explore twice. Maybe we're just gonna... Yeah, that's good in case they are able to mess with our journey. Yeah, 2 damage doesn't matter, let's just keep it open. So I hope the audio quality's been okay. I have a pretty monotonous voice anyway, but it's, I guess we'd call this a nail biter. I've had my face, or my hand right in front of my face, because it's such a breakneck speed game. Yeah. Okay. Nothing on the table is that complicated here. You have 3 cards in your hand. Come on. Oh, I don't know. Okay. You're really worried about getting in for 2? Okay. No. You can have it. And that's why I kept the Golgari Fine Broker. I mean, it's tempting. Maybe Vraska would be better off than trying to go for our combo, but I do think we'll be able to safely do a journey next turn. Yes. We won, kind of. Yeah, I think they got the point. They knew they couldn't stop our journey, and we didn't really, honestly, I was still worried about it. But yeah, most people know that once journey's flipped, they don't really have a chance. So we'll try one more here. Gotten lucky so far. Well, kind of. No, that first game was a little ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, this will be the last one, and then we'll upload this. And I don't really know what I'm doing on YouTube, but yeah. So hope you enjoyed my first video before I grow to fame and make millions and all that. So again, these aren't the creatures that I want, but I've got land. This is why I was talking about with Necrotic Wand. This is a dead card without a couple of Stitchers or something. But, you know, it's not red deck wins, so this is actually fine. I have a feeling Ritual Sip might be a dead card. I hope this isn't control. I hate control decks. This deck does okay against control, but it just, it's better than some. But it depends on what's going on. You have to get a little lucky, you have to be a little smart. I'm usually neither. But, yeah, we both have a really great start here. I mean, action-packed for me over here. You know, activating all my lands. I'll probably take the Evolving Wilds out once I get the Dominaria double win. Okay. This is gonna get countered, so he can take a land out. We don't need it, but it'll get us another land out, and it'll take another land out of our deck with Evolving Wilds. Yeah, so fucking control deck. I looked at this earlier today. Okay, so this isn't a standard control deck. Well, anyway, we'll just do that. I could play Crafter, obviously, but we'll put something on the table. I don't know, I'm just waiting for a Planeswalker. It's probably gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe not Dimir. I don't know. We'll probably see white in a minute. It's a good, if it's a control deck. These bastards have to play. No, just a blue-black deck. This might not be as bad as we thought. We'll have to deal with a couple counter spells, obviously, but yeah, we can get through a handful. But, well, this is about the end of our removal. Yeah, Ritual Soot's gonna be... I'll use it on any single creature I can now. I don't know what kind of... I don't really know what to do with these. keep Chupacabra on the table, just because I figure he's going to have an answer for it. So maybe he has Rituals of Soot in hand, and it'll be a dead card for him too. But anyway, I think he's going to take care of it this turn, so I figured I might as well get in the 2 damage. And Plague Crafter might be better to get out with Golgari. Although, in this one, when I do Golgari, I'm going to take out the other Fine Broker. Okay. Yep. Get rid of one of those. God, what a terrible start. The Stitchers are really just so important. I'm gonna play with Frank. May be a mistake not getting the Chupacabra out, but we'll do it this turn. Yeah, and then we can have the Chupacabra for whatever he brings out. Yeah, there's nothing in there that Chupacabra can't take care of. Yeah. Now we just need 2 of them. Well, that puts a timer on us. And he's not even legendary. Honestly, stats like that for that cost, why isn't he legendary? I don't get it. Okay. We're gonna get sneaky. Maybe. He's probably not dumb enough to block. This is really... Alright, if he's dumb enough to block, we can kill him with the hand. You dumb son of a bitch. Why would you do that? Alright, I'm definitely gonna forget this. And... Alright, so we have enough land for a Zoni now, but she's not going to help much. This guy must... There's just, hopefully there's no counter here. Okay, well that's good. We're actually going to do this first, even though I'd rather have this. They could obviously have 2 counter spells. But if this doesn't work, he could play another creature, and then he could sacrifice the weaker one. He'll save the Doom Whisperer, obviously. And right now I'm really... Obviously I'd rather have Ripborn, but... Maybe he only has Essence Scatter. I don't know. I feel like a counterspell would have come out already, so maybe we landed. Sweet. Honestly, that might be the win. So I think this is just a brew. Just somebody trying to see what Demir can do. And I can't fault him. I've definitely done that. But yeah, this deck isn't really much to worry about. So if they don't play a creature, then we'll just put him down now. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks. Like, I hated that being in my hand, so thanks, bro. Yeah, that didn't help us at all. They couldn't... Yeah, they didn't draw another... I don't think they... Counterspell in their hand, but I wasn't paying close enough attention. But anyway, this is 5 power out on the board, so that's pretty good in this situation. I went on and on about how Zoni doesn't do much if you only have 3 creatures. Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure if this has been the ultimate display of this deck, but it's doing pretty well. I mean, what am I? I'm 3-2, so it's not much to brag about, but that's 60% win rate. Let's see. How long has this been? Yeah, we'll just we'll call it a day here. Anyway, hopefully I went over a good amount of this stuff and thoroughly impressed my 4 viewers. Anyway, later.